Welcome to Sawdust Nation Podcast, our 41st episode, or as AJ likes to call it, the 41st. You got to get the th in there. But anywho, we have Nick from NPG Creations.
Hey, hey.
We have AJ from Crafted in NJ.
Hello, everybody.
And then there's me, Josh, from North Country Woodworking. Welcome. And Nick, I'm going to toss it over to you. Let's hear from our sponsors.
That's right. First up, we have Totalboat Epoxy. For that great epoxy experience, head on over to totalboat.com. For 15% off, use promo code SawdustNationPod. Go ahead and get on that boat, Totalboat. All right, next up we have Orca Abrasives. We want to give a special thank you to Orca Abrasives for supporting this podcast. For 10% off your order, use promo code SawdustNation10. Orca Abrasives website is located on our Instagrams. And last up, we have Jtechphotonics. Jtechphotonics makes outstanding lasers for your CNC platforms. Head on over to jtechphotonics.com and check out their lasers today. All right, that's it for our sponsors. AJ, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody who just won the contest on our live event?
Well, we had another YouTube live, and it was very successful, and we had quite a few watchers.
Great success.
And we also gave away an Orca pack, our Orca package of sanding discs. And
Orca pack.
we're giving away an Orca. It's it'll be USPS.
What does an Orca sound like there, AJ?
Man, what's the shipping weight on that?
It's a couple pounds. I don't know. They might give it to USPS. They would definitely lose that.
Did it make it through customs?
I know it might not have to. Maybe. Anyway, we're giving away an Orca package, and that lucky giveaway winner was Kaylin Gleason. And also, we gave away a Cutsaw disc. And that was the original disc in the coarse grit. That's the one that I use on my flags. And that went to the lucky winner, Robert Ross. So congratulations to those two lucky winners.
Congratulations.
And if you want to catch our next YouTube Live, catch us at the first Tuesday of the month. And we do that every first Tuesday of the month. And next giveaway is going to be something different. So stay tuned and join in to the live. So with that, I'm going to throw it to Josh. Because not only do we want to know, not only does your cat want to know, but the whole wide world wants to know what is going on in your shop.
You guys got to work on that together, but we'll get it one day. You know, it's our first time doing this.
Yes.
It's my first
Who are you?
Who am I? Anyway, so in the shop, what do we have going on? Well, I'm knocking out projects. The table has left the building. It got delivered, actually picked up from the client, and it's in their home now. They're not going to be setting it up until they move, but it'll be one of the first things they set up in their new home. So, I mean, you can't beat that. I still have a bench that needs to go with it that I'm building. That should take, pretty much no time. I just need to go grab the lumber for it and get it knocked out. And then, so I won't be sitting around on that. I got the wine rack. I'm actually starting. I'm truly starting it now. I have the plans and everything. I just need to go start making cuts. You have a question there, Nick?
I do have a question. So for that table, did you ever figure out what was going on with the color of the top? Or was it just agreed upon that it was perfect the way it was?
Okay. Backstory, since you brought it up. So I had a client reach out to me, and they thought the top was too light in color, but it was already finished. It had like 5, I would say maybe even 6 layers of Halcyon on there. And they wanted the top darker. So I explained to them the process of what we need and the price of that because, the materials and everything. And they actually, when they came to see it, apparently, and my wife agreed that the picture, for some reason, lightened up the color. And in person, it's darker. And they were very happy with the color when they saw it in person. So it was an easy fix. I didn't have to do anything extra with it. So they were happy with what they saw. So that was easy. And I just got to do the bench the same way and get that knocked out. They already bought the legs for the bench. I have them in the shop. I just have to, put a bench together. But wine rack is definitely happening. It's something that I've been putting off because of space and some other stuff. But I'm finally getting into it. I didn't really have a deadline for that, but I should really get that knocked out. The mallet that's going to Africa will be done by tomorrow. And yeah,
Wow.
You're right. Yeah, there is a unit down there that is ordered a mallet for their commander, and it will be shipped out to them. So that's the furthest I've shipped to.
Yeah, I think you beat.
So,
Did you beat all of us?
no, I don't think. I think AJ's gone to Germany?
No, Nick.
No, I've gone to Deutschland and Italia.
Shipped,
only went
not
to-
gone to. I've gone to
Well,
both
no,
of
I'm
those
saying
too,
I've
but-
shipped to those
Oh, okay.
locations,
Yeah, yeah.
but Mother Africa's just south of there. So
Yeah, I would say it's about the same.
Nice. I've only gone to Canada.
Hey?
hey, I do have a word of advice for you though. When you do ship that item to Africa, use lots of packaging tape or packaging bubble wrap and stuff like that, because things have a tendency to get tossed around a bit down there, especially it depends on what carrier they're using. But I know when I was in Africa, we had a big problem with damaged mail.
Yeah, I'm going to do actually kind of similar to how you wrap yours. I'm going to some packing and then put it in a box, and then I'm going to put it into a larger box, put packing around that, and then type that. That way, if it goes through the first box, it has a second box it needs to go through. It's going to add to the weight a little bit, but I'm not worried about that. I want to get there one piece.
First step, put your hammer in a box.
Wrap it. Wrap it good. But yeah, and while doing that, I found a perfect opportunity to use my new router table, and that definitely comes in handy, man. I'm telling you, I love how smooth it is to change your bits and just get things knocked out on it. I was able to get my mallet in the works as well. Got both of them laser engraved. I just have to put it in the handle tomorrow, glue it up, and then once that's done, trim it up, sand it a little bit, and then oil. So both mallets should be done hopefully by tomorrow.
Did you put a muscle chuck on your router table?
It's funny you brought that up, because as I was changing out bits, I forgot the name of the muscle chuck that you sent me ages ago. I was going to write you and ask what it was called, because I could definitely see.
You're gonna write me, huh? You're gonna send it
Yeah.
snail mail? I'll get it.
I was going to put a little bit of clone on there for you too. But
Nice.
Seal it with wax.
Who's going to kiss the envelope?
no, I don't wear lipstick. That's AJ.
Oh,
Anyway, I got two small boxes I got to make. Nothing too, just two boxes. They want me to mimic something they bought, I think, at like Michael's or something, but they want just, a better box version. My wife wanted a name sign for our daughter, so I went and carved that today. That was, fairly straightforward, but, I got it done. I did the Vikings show logo with a little twist on that. I did that out of a scrap piece of cherry. And, I was just playing around with the 30 degree and, how fast I can run it. And especially with a hardwood like cherry, see what it could do. Let's see. I got my Harvey compass in. Loving that. I got the right side Bridge City UG1. So that's now the correct side for that.
by the way, my table saw that I'm getting is a left tilt. So
Oh, good. You can buy it off me.
yeah, I don't know how much it was, but I want it.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. Let's see. I got a new miter saw. I got the Bosch Glide. It's the same one as AJ's. I would even say it is the twin sister, and we have to come up with a name for it. So it's going to be Tiffany's sister. Any suggestions, you can go ahead and DM one of us. But other than that, I'm getting, some more magnets into the shop. I got a magnet to go on top of my table saw and my joiner and even my bandsaw, keep them covered. That way when I put stuff on there, it's not adding to the top at all. I got the idea from Ptreesworkshop, and it's a great idea. So just stealing that and utilizing. But that's pretty much all that I have going in the shop. Obviously, I have a whole bunch of other stuff I'm working on, but that'll be next week's episode. So with that, Nick, I have to know. The world don't care, but I have to know. What's going on in your shop, man?
That's messed up.
Well, I'm glad you asked. And if the world cares to hear it, I'm currently working on a few projects. I have a sniper tab. That's an army tab, I guess. I'm carving out. No, that would. No, I'm not lasering it. I'm carving it. And then,
damn! I missed my cue.
the same order. The guy ordered 5 different tabs that he's earned. So there's like sniper, airborne, air advisor, Raven, and Jump Master. I don't think Jump Master is an actual tab, but I think that he just wanted one made.
So you're saying you don't want to disappoint this guy?
No, I'm already halfway done. I just needed to develop a couple of the images, so I spent some time doing that this past week, building, with on my CAD software. But other than that, I've got orders still coming in, and business is flowing nicely. It feels like I never actually had a gap in the business, just because people just picked up where they left off. I got repeat orders, repeat customers, which is nice. I set up a Square this past week at I think it's like squareup.com, but it's an easier way for me to go ahead and invoice people, and an easier way for me to catalog my orders, because once in that software I can go ahead and, at least on the web page, I can go ahead and have the list of the orders and their status as far as paid and unpaid and all that other jazz. Plus I put all the details in there. This way, if I ever need to look back on something, I could just get on my phone and look and see all the deets. But other than that, man, things are just moving right along. Still waiting on the old saw stop from Woodcraft. But
when is that supposed to come in? Is there an ETA on it?
Yeah, anywhere in between now and the end of time. I'm not exactly sure.
Fair enough.
I called them today.
Time.
I called them today. I'm sure, the guys that work at Woodcraft are probably sick and tired of hearing from people who order saw stops, because they're like, hey, is my saw come in yet? So, I mean, I was that guy today. I just kind of casually asked, like, hey, heard anything about delivery of any saw stop orders? And they're like, yeah, no, give it about 2 months. Well, all right. Sounds good to me. So, what about you, AJ? What you got going on in that flag shop of yours?
Well, I'll make it short, sweet, and to the point. Flags. And more flags.
All right, thanks for showing up.
Yeah, thanks. I'll see you guys later. It was great doing this with you. But no, today, as I showed you guys, I threw you off with a quick question of, do you need any silverware? And Nick was thinking that I was trying to sell some. But I actually just made up a wooden spoon that I got carved out today, and it's because I got a coworker who's in culinary school, and he asked if I could make a wooden spoon for when they do their taste testing for, I guess, the instructor. And he asked, and I kind of just was like, you know what? I didn't want to get into anything big today because I knew we had to record. And so I just said, let me just throw it on the band. So I cut it out rough, sanded it down on my rigid oscillating sander, and then took a cut saw burr to it and carved out the center of the spoon, final sanded it, and now I just have to apply some finish to it. And it actually turned out, for my very first spoon, it looks like a spoon, and I don't know if it's functional because I don't want to try it out, before I give it to somebody. I don't want to try it before the customer gets it. I don't think that's, good etiquette.
Make some tuna fish up with it. And so that's what.
The whole time I was sanding it on the rigid, I swore the handle was going to break off of it because I was going nice and light. But, sometimes that little belt sander, that belt attachment catches the wood just so perfectly that it grabs it and wants to throw it out of your hand. Well, I was going so light that it couldn't, which was good, and I did catch the back end of it a little bit, and it kind of freaked me out, but I was able to sand it down and get it nice looking. But with that, I actually just got another flag order for another fire department flag. So, kind of orders slowed down a little bit, which is good because now I'll get to catch up. Kim is having a blast painting all the patches and insignias. And yes, blast with big quotes. No, she really enjoys it. And that was somebody's car alarm.
Nick's trying to break in.
It's not me. I don't know who that is.
But with that, I got the normal projects. So, and actually, I just got another buddy of mine wants a 5-foot sign CNC'd. He wants, because he's a very big Volkswagen fan. So he asked if I can make it in sections, and then I'll dowel it back together. I'm probably just going to make it out of some 1/2-inch ply because he doesn't need anything to look fancy-dancy, and he wants it painted black anyway. So that's going to be a pretty big project for me. I rendered it up today at work, and he likes it. He's really stoked for it, and I can't wait to get that done. And then just a few other projects that I've mentioned before. But I'm still waiting on my router table, the same one you got, Josh. It's still on back order, and I'm ordering it through Macbeth. So he told me once it comes in, then he'll let me know, and then I'll get it ordered.
Oh, the Jessam 2? The router lift?
Yeah. Router lift 2, same one, the silver-topped one. Because I asked Rusty over Macbeth, I said, what's the difference between the router lift 2 and the higher-end one? And he goes, the higher-end one, it's a little bit stronger material on top, and you can do 64th-inch adjustments. He goes, I can't even think of a time I'd need 64th-inch adjustments. So I don't do anything that precise. I barely go to like an inch. So
I do.
If it...
Yeah, Nick measures in 64th.
Yeah, I barely go to an inch too, by the way.
And the jokes keep coming from last episode. Last episode, I was listening to it on the ride home, and I was like, well, here's 1 joke, 2 jokes, 3 jokes. By the end, I was like, well, I mean, we just said about 40 different jokes all about Nick. And
all common theme. I'm just saying.
So, but yeah, same old in the shop. And
just a small topic.
Yeah. Hey, actually,
I'm curious, AJ, what do you want to talk about after that?
well, I was since you kind of derailed me on that one, I wanted to mention something that I posted up the other day on my feed. It's not my normal post, and I posted about the fence that I was cleaning, and I wanted to mention, because I know I've talked to you guys about it. We talked to Lucas about it. But that 30-second cleaner or 30-second outdoor cleaner, man, that stuff works great if you have to clean anything around your house. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the pictures because you probably don't even follow me anymore. But the transformation from what that fence looked like to what it looks like now, I mean, I swear it's a brand new fence. I mean, that's how good that stuff worked.
Yeah, man, it did look good after you were done.
Yeah, and now I just got to clear it. So, and then hopefully it'll stay that way for a few years.
So what are you putting on there?
I just picked up some, deck.
Halcyon?
No, I should have, but it would have been a little bit more expensive. But I'm just going to go with some deck, not stain, but it's a clear coat. Yes, I'm going to Odie's my whole fence.
Hey, you guys laugh, but when I spoke with Odie's this week, that they said that they've done just that and it's held up.
Really? I would go broke if I had to cover that whole fence
with Odie's.
Oh, a little bit goes on a long way, man.
Yeah, that's right. You got to go out there and buff it afterwards too. So
yeah. Buff it good.
Imagine you see your neighbor just outside taking a buffing wheel to his fence.
Wax off.
It's so shiny it causes an accident on the road because it's glaring.
Especially the road you live on. My God. It was fun driving.
90 miles an hour on that road.
No, like
anyway.
As soon as you get it done, somebody runs into your fence.
That would be, you literally step back, hands on your hips, going like, I did a damn good job on this. And then just careens right into it.
I just walk away and be done.
It actually, I'm just going to go on my imagination, but it's so strong because the Odie's cured.
Bounce off.
And it just, the car just literally bounces off and hits your neighbor's house.
It doesn't even bounce off. It just kind of like veers it out of the way. Just glides off it.
It's so shiny.
Anywho, this is a woodworking podcast, so...
It is?
Yeah, sometimes.
I thought we were doing motor vehicle stuff. Well, I am done with my shop talk, so you want to hit up our questions that got sent in by our faithful listeners?
What accent is that?
I don't know. That's just somebody I came up with. But I'm gonna start this one.
Hey, what's up, guys? Tyler here.
Or not.
Woodenwhiskerstrading.
Josh is derailing me.
I don't know where it's playing from.
Around turning. So we just came across a great deal.
Tyler, hold on.
Tyler wants to talk about turning. So let's turn this thing right around and get into Tyler's question.
Oh, I don't know if I could play it after that.
Hey, what's up, guys? Tyler here.
What's up, Tyler?
Woodenwhiskerstrading Co. I hope you had a great Easter.
Fantastic.
My question this week revolves around turning. So we just came across a great deal on the interwebs and was able to score a new lathe for the shop. Got it all cleaned up and ready to start turning. So my question to you is, what was the first thing you've turned? And maybe if you don't have a lathe, what would be the first thing you would want to turn? Thanks, guys.
Nick, what would you like to turn?
So I've actually turned before. It was a long time ago. I was in middle school and had a shop teacher that he let me turn on the lathe. We didn't have any classwork that had to do anything with the lathe, but there was one of those big, giant Navy gunship metal gray ones in the shop, you know? So I was like, hey, do you mind if I turn a baseball bat? Like in my study period or whatnot. And he was like, sure, no problem. So I went out and got a billet and brought it in and started turning it. And it actually turned out pretty good for me being, 12.
I was going to say, did you have, I know you were 12, but like, did you ever maybe see a lathe, being used or try one, on something small? Because I mean, a bat's, and was it a full-size bat?
Full-size
Wow.
bat. Yeah, it was a full-size bat. It was 32 inches long. And so I didn't have any concept of how to turn a bat or even how to use it. He showed me everything I needed to do. I was heavily supervised because you could seriously injure yourself with that material or that machine. And it looks great, but that thing is heavy as a mofo. You know what I mean?
Still have it?
I never realized. Yeah, I still got
That's
it somewhere in the house. But I didn't know to take any gauges or whatnot. I just was eyed it basically to see. It looked like a bat, and when I was done, put some stain on it and brought it home.
Cool.
That was it, man. It was fun. But if I ever start turning again, I'll probably just turn table legs or I don't know. I don't see myself turning in the near future just because it's at the opposite spectrum of what I'm currently doing. And if I start, it's going to just drive me into the poorhouse because I buy so many tools. So what about you there, Josh?
Well, I've never actually tried it. I definitely have an interest in trying it someday. But like you said, I really don't need another excuse to buy a tool and then, everything else I need for it. But if I had the opportunity and knew someone that had one, I definitely would like to give it a go. Do a mallet on there or, something I could use in the shop or... why are you laughing?
Because you said mallet, and my first thought, I'm not even thinking of a round mallet. I'm just thinking of a square mallet, and I'm going how are you going to do that?
Jeez.
Thunk, 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 thunk. That would...
Yeah, I'm going to do a square mallet on... Yeah, no, that doesn't work. Anyway, yeah, the only reason I would own one at this point in time would be to sell the mallets that I would make on there, or even I would need a bigger one to make table legs and stuff like that. Because that would be fun, being able to offer that with, when making a table or something. Instead of having to go out and buy it, I could actually make it out of some hardwood instead of, buying that pine turn wood off the internet, which is not always the best, but, it would definitely open up some doors, but I don't have the space for it right now. I'd like to someday, but today is not that day. AJ, what would you like to turn?
Well, it's funny. Nick was talking about middle school. I think I was in, was it middle school or high school? It was high school. Actually, my senior year, because my mom finally let me to choose my own classes, so I chose woodshop as one of them. And, trust me. 3 years of high school was not fun until my fourth. But, I had woodshop and we got to turn some bowls on there. So a few of them were real chunky. They were, not thin. They were real heavy. And then I finally turned my last one, which came out real nice, which was cedar, red cedar, and poplar. I still have it. It's actually displayed in my kitchen, which we house just it's like a catch-all dish. And I would love to have another lathe so I can do that stuff again because I really, really enjoyed it. But I also don't want to clean up the mess, so I would have to figure out a way. God bless you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I would have to figure out a way for dust collection, so I could have it in there. But also in the shop, I don't have an area where I could keep it stationary, so it would just get in the way most of the time. Because as you saw my shop, Josh, I have to roll a lot of stuff in and out, especially like the drum sander, the smaller bandsaw, my joiner. I don't have any dedicated locations for them. I would love to, but at this point, lathe is. Kim really wants one. Let's put it that way. She goes, "Can we just buy a lathe?" I'm like, "For what?" She goes, "Well, we could turn little, who knows? Anything we want. Maybe one day. Maybe I'll get a little benchtop one just to play around with or something like that." So I would like to do bowls again.
So I got to bring it up, and I don't mean to cut you off here, but I saw this video of this dude turning like a tree, basically. It was a giant log, and it's on this, what looks like to be a homemade lathe.
Really?
And it's so violent to watch the tool run against like all the bark and all that stuff on the tree. It's just, I'll actually I'm looking at it right now, and the video is called like Arte and Torno, and it's absolutely just amazing. This guy's arm didn't come off when he was turning this tree. So,
did you ever see Ashleyharwoodturning on Instagram?
I think I have.
I have not.
There was one video that I saw of hers, and this log was on the lathe, and while it was spinning, it was just like this huge piece of wood, and it looked very intimidating. And she got to working with it, and it's amazing that I'm so used to a little bowl, maybe like 6 inches, 8 inches, but this thing was huge on it. So if you haven't checked her out, definitely go check it out. And she's got tons of videos on her stuff on the lathe.
There's another dude on Instagram who makes magic wands. I don't know if you've seen his stuff.
Yes, Raven. I started following him.
I think it's Raven Woodworks or something.
Yeah, he started following me not too long ago, and I did a shout out to him because he went through like a bunch of my stuff, and then I checked him out, and he makes some pretty cool wands. I'm gonna look him up.
Raven Customs.
You got it. Okay, cool.
So oh no, wait, is that it? No, that's not the guy. Is it?
There should be a raven with a little bit of red. I remember his logo. So,
he out of Arizona?
I'm not sure of the location. Man,
I don't know either. I can't remember what the Instagram handle is. But he turns magic wands and does like camera tricks for his videos and makes it look like he's making things disappear and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. I'm not a magic connoisseur by any means, but
Red Raven Workshop.
Woodworks.
His handle is actually his name, Eric Penguington 777.
Yeah, dude does some good work.
Anywho,
Anyway,
Giving the old shout out.
with that, I'll have to find him so I can put him in the mentions. But with that,
Yeah. They actually did a turn off the other night, by the way.
it wasn't a turn on.
But now him and another maker got together on camera, and they turned magic wands, or one guy turned a pen, and the other guy, and Eric Pennington or whatever his name is, turned a magic wand, and then they gave him away at the end of the turn off, which was kind of cool idea.
that is pretty cool. So with that, we're going to go into another question. So this got sent in by Sam. He sent in another email, and he's got 2 questions for us. Hey, Nick, Josh, and AJ, quick question for you. How do you know when a piece of sandpaper is no longer usable or at the grit that it says it is? Is there a rule of thumb to follow? I would have to say, if it's not sanding anymore, it's done.
So I agree to a certain extent. but I do know that there are certain ways you can add some life to your sandpaper. I saw a gentleman at a woodworking convention up in New Jersey, and he would take a paintbrush and he would brush his sandpaper and get all the excess, the sawdust that was gunking up the sandpaper out of like the crevices or whatnot, and it would extend the life of the sandpaper. Because, I mean, obviously you want the grit to be touching the wood, and once that thing gunks up and it's just wood rubbing against wood, you're not doing any good. You're just making heat. So.
You never want your wood to rub up against wood. Never.
There's also I think it's a rubber you put on the sandpaper and it cleans out the sandpaper.
So you grind on the sandpaper?
Yeah, it's like a rubber piece, and you put it on your drum sander, or you can even do it for your normal sander, and it cleans off all that extra gunk and everything. I actually have a section of it in the shop. I just haven't used it yet.
Have you ever used it?
Josh doesn't use rubbers.
I got 2 kids, man.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
Have you?
Here we go.
Moving on. Next question, please. Oh, wait. Whose turn is it to answer?
I think it was your turn. AJ said that when it's done, it's done.
Yeah, he don't use rubbers either.
I do on my drum sander.
Oh, so you do have one.
I have a rubber stick that I use on my drum sanding paper. And that's why you said you had one in your shop. But I was curious, have you ever used it?
No, I haven't yet. Actually, haven't really had the need for it quite yet. So I haven't had the drum sander.
When you put the rubber to the sandpaper, it's a magical moment. Let's put it that way. This magic moment.
Right.
This magical moment was brought to you by Sawdust Nation Podcast. Sawdust Nation Podcast on Instagram.
Anyway, you guys want to move on to the next one?
Yeah, we would. I was trying to for 3 hours now.
All right, so the next question is from Trails Custom Woodworks.
We got the second part of Sam's.
Whoa, hold on.
See, you should have let me just take over, bro. What the hell?
Oh, I thought you were trying to...
Man, you're just overly excited over there.
Okay, go ahead.
This is going to be your favorite question, remember? Actually, he's got a two-parter. He asked, recently I had a client ask if I could use a cheap wood, but stain it to look like walnut. Haven't we all? Is this something that you would be okay with doing and putting your name on? And then he also asks, and something he's been thinking about today, is cereal a type of soup? ? So, Josh, have you ever had somebody ask you to stain a cheap piece of wood to look like an expensive piece of wood?
Absolutely. Happens all the time.
Would you put your name on it?
And I have. So this is the way I look at it, okay? So in the beginning, I used pine. I didn't really use hardwood at all. And Nick is going to give me a judgmental look this entire time, but it's okay. That's the kind of orders I got in the beginning. They wanted, say, this piece done. They want it out of cheap wood, and they want it stained a certain color. So, I mean, that was just how I got started. I didn't really go into the realm of hardwood until, I don't know, a year ago. And it's just the way the cookie crumbled to that. I don't do it so much anymore. I still do it. I just did a table. I stained it. But, I mean, in that, this is a perfect example. The customer didn't like the knots and how light the color was. And even using some conditioner, you're still going to have that lighter color around the knots and stuff like that. So it's never going to be the same. It's never going to look the same. It's never going to be the same quality. It's not going to hold up at the same. So you just got to make sure your client and customer base understand that they are paying for a cheaper wood, and that's what they're going to end up getting no matter what you put on it. So it's not something you should, shy away from unless you're absolutely against it. But, that's what customers want. I mean, I'm not here to judge everyone that, orders from me. I'm here to make whatever they see in their head become a reality. And if it's doing that with pine because that's what they can afford, then sometimes I'm going to have to do that with pine. So that's my answer. And yes, I would assume that cereal is a type of soup.
What?
Man, I wish you all could see the look AJ just gave Josh.
Soup? We'll get into it. Anyway, Nick, what about you?
Would I stain? I have done it. I usually don't work with pine.
Wait. Can you repeat that one more time?
So when I was first beginning, I was not as knowledged or educated. I like knowledged on the ways of finishing and all that. So I tried to mimic different woods with pine.
Okay.
But I always found that you can't really do it with pine. Poplar is a little easier to make look like cherry. I just think pine, the grain structure on the pine is a little difficult to work with when you're dealing with stains, and especially oils. It's a little more difficult. So, but my go-to cheaper wood of choice would be poplar. So that's what I would pursue, or at least recommend to a customer who wants to have something look like something else. But would I put my name on it? I'll put your name on it. No, I'll put my name on it. Yeah. If it's my work, I put my name on it and I stand by it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you're doing anything wrong, you know. You're just using a cheaper piece of wood, you know. We all do.
That being said, I will never, ever pass off a cheap piece of wood as an expensive piece of wood. Like, I'm not going to advertise it as cherry, you know? Like, if I make it look like cherry, I'm not going to tell the customer it's cherry and it's poplar, because that's just ethically wrong. And no, I don't know. What about cereal that you heat up in the microwave?
It's called oatmeal.
Yeah, but I mean, is that a soup?
No.
Well, question on that, because I like my oatmeal thicker, so I actually put it in there longer, so I don't have any.
It's like porridge.
Yeah, it's like porridge more than it is anything.
Please,
so
sir, I would have some more.
No, you can't. Now, long story short, I do think that cereal is soup. I mean, tell me the difference between them.
Yeah, AJ, what's the difference?
Go ahead.
Now, my wife loves soup, so don't make me gut her and bring her in here so she can have this soup cereal. Hey,
no,
babe,
do it. Do it.
I can't believe he's doing it.
Yeah, we're doing it because cereal is not a god darn soup. Is cereal soup?
You eat it with a spoon.
Absolutely
And
not.
what do you eat it with?
You eat it with a spoon.
A
Would you
fork?
call chicken noodle cereal? Would you call it split pea cereal? No.
Okay, so is hot dog a
No,
sandwich?
a hot dog's a hot dog. A hamburger's not even a sandwich.
Totally. Thanks, Sam. You derailed the podcast.
Yep, and our
Ask
ratings
her.
just dropped.
What? Would you consider a hot dog a sandwich?
Oh my goodness.
No. No.
So the consensus is
Josh
split
is
down the middle.
crazy.
It's 2 versus 2.
It's, you know what it is? It's a South Jersey thing. You know, us Northerners up here believe in soup as soup and cereal as cereal.
we
I'm more
go.
northern
All right.
than you.
If you're listening to the podcast and you think
I was
that
basically
soup
born
is
in
a cereal,
Canada,
go ahead and
eh?
email us at sawdustnationpodcast.com. Let us know, or slide into our DMs at Sawdust Nation Podcast on Instagram.
Yes. Next question, please.
We're going back to that.
Is it my turn?
Yes, it is. So we got a question sent in by Trails Custom Woodworks on the big old IG. He says, "Hey guys, got a question for the podcast. I recently purchased a Fuji Mini Mite 4, and I'm loving it. I've sprayed a few coats of polyacrylic, and it's turning out epic. Just wondering what your favorite things / materials are to spray. Thanks, guys. Have a good week." I usually like to spray my cereal that is not soup. No, I
Spray it with milk.
yes, I spray my soup with milk. And I would say I don't have a Fuji. I have the Wagner Flexio 4000, and I'll spray polyacrylic, Halcyon, also spar urethane. I have sprayed paint, and it was an epic failure. I did not thin the paint, so I learned quick. And, you know, I don't know how Fujis are compared to the Wagner. I like the Wagner because it's simple. You know, it's easy to use. The Fujis look real nice. But, you know, I guess you might have to play with, you know, the settings, maybe the air pressure, and to get it dialed in right. I know the polyacrylic, I usually run like a medium air pressure versus the Halcyon. Since it's a little bit thicker, even though you thin it, I still have to bump up the air pressure to full max on the Wagner. And I don't have any issues with it. But I spray clear. I don't I don't spray stains. I have you guys ever sprayed a stain?
I have not.
I have. It was mixed with a poly.
Okay, so an all-in-one.
But it was in a rattle can.
2-in-1. Oh. How did that turn out?
That's how I used to finish all of my tab projects. Well, almost all my projects I'd finished with the stuff called poly shades from Minwax, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've used it.
So it was okay. The problem I saw with it was it took forever to dry.
Yeah, I would think so.
So
now, when you say forever,
I thought it
was it like a couple hours, 4 hours a day?
No, I would spray it the night. I would spray it like the night before or the evening when I went inside, right before I went inside for the night, and then the next morning I come out still sticky.
Wow!
And then like I could get home from work, and then it would still be a little bit tacky, and then I'd give it another night, it'd be done.
Wow! I could do like 6 coats of polyacrylic in that time.
Yeah, and that's why I switched completely to the Halcyon because it dries in less than 30 minutes.
Yeah.
If depending on where you're at
and how thick you lay it. What would you guys
laying it down thick?
What I've laid it down thick and it hasn't dried correctly. It left me with a lot of stroke lines and whatnot. And it wasn't good. So
about them stroke lines.
Got a little cloudy too. But anyway, besides clear, because I guess we're all on consensus that we all spray clear. And is there anything else that you would spray? And he also asked what material, favorite thing / material.
Yeah, material. I like spraying my wood. Usually when I'm working with any kind of project that's going to be like a sign or anything like that, I'll definitely spray it. I have been leaning toward the Odie's oil and stuff like that for finishing any kind of hardwood projects. That just brings out the grain a lot. That will protect it the way I need it to while conditioning the wood itself. So I guess the answer to that question is like signage material, stuff that's going to like go on the wall that's been painted, or the table. The table I just did. I definitely sprayed that. Quite a few coats of the Halcyon and did a couple layers of the gloss and then went over with a semi. That way I can, if you just do the semi,
satin?
It'll get kind of cloudy. Oh, yes. Yeah, sorry. I think polyacrylic. Thanks for the correction. But yeah, if you do the satin and do 4 layers or more, you're going to get a cloudy appearance. If you do the gloss first and you do a couple layers, that will give you that clear look once you do a couple layers of the satin. But yeah, as far as like spray anything other than, clearing something, I usually either paintbrush it on or I use, spray paint. If it's a larger project, I have used my Wagner, my Homewright, to spray those projects, but usually it's just like white. It's nothing like too crazy. And you just have to thin it appropriately.
You thin paint with your paint thinner, I'm guessing? Okay.
Yeah, with a paint thinner. It's just like anything else. I'm sure there's a ratio out there you should do, but I just kind of feel it out. Obviously, I don't want to get it too thin, but, I'm not too thick. You just got to find a happy medium.
All right. Sorry to derail.
No, it's... so I prefer to spray any of my wood plaques with the Halcyon now because it leaves a gorgeous gloss finish to it. And then obviously I'll spray the gloss before I spray the flat. Now I've also sprayed HDU, and Mike over at Veteranwoodco kind of, put me on HDU, which is it's like a foam that you can carve.
Yeah.
It's a great easy carve whenever you carve it because you go full depth on every pass. You don't have to go a little bit at a time. So it's very fast and it's impervious to oils and chemicals and stuff like that. So you can really put whatever you want on it. But the Halcyon that I have works great on it. Leaves a great glossy finish.
I watch Mike's stories, all his videos, and the stuff he does is amazing. And I always thought for some reason he did those as like a blank first to make sure like the carve was good, and then he did it out of wood. But when those signs get done, you never know they were made out of this foam material. I've never handled it before. Are they heavier than like a piece of regular styrofoam or something like that?
Yeah, it's heavier, but it's way lighter than any wood product will ever be. I think the best part about it is the speed in which you can carve, and the versatility of it. You don't have to worry about knots or grain direction or anything. It's just it's a man-made foam, and it works great.
I was just about to ask.
Right?
Yeah, it's pretty expensive. I think for one 4x8 sheet of 3/4 inch, I think I paid close to $200 for.
Wow!
But when you look at how big a signs you can make with it, or if you're doing smaller things, like say you're doing how you have the badges and stuff like that you put on your flags, it's so much cleaner than wood.
Yeah.
So much cleaner carved than wood. You can sand it up to 220, and you can even adhere it to wood. I've had to adhere it to wood before, but you can't use wood glue. You got to use what's that stuff called? Like
the spray adhesive?
Cement caulking stuff.
Oh.
No, it's like so
wow.
Liquid cement, that's what it's called.
Okay.
And yeah, man. And then if you want it to stick to each other, like if you want the letters or whatever you cut out to stick to a HD from HDU to another HDU background, you can just use CA glue.
Wow.
Yeah, but the weatherproofing of that is it's amazing. It's easier on the carve. So the $200 mark to buy a sheet of it, I mean, like, you're not having to glue anything up because more likely you can cut whatever signage you want out of there. It saves time. You're not having to sand too much. You said you could sand up to 220. So, I mean, like, right there's savings. It might add up.
When you carve tabs into it, too, they just come right off, and you sand right over. No issue whatsoever.
That's crazy.
Now, I think he used the 2-inch thick HDU on his stuff. I wanted to test the water, so I got 3/4 inch. Obviously his stuff's gorgeous.
Yeah.
But I'm a firm believer in HDU now. So
wow, I'll have to see if I can find it in I don't need an 8-foot sheet. I wonder if I can find it in something smaller, just so I could test the waters as well.
It's probably easy to ship, especially if you get smaller sections because of the fact that it's so light.
I don't know that they sell smaller sections of it. I know I had to drive to a sign making distribution center where they have materials and stuff like that to pick it up. And I pulled up to a loading dock and they put the 4x8 sheet in the back of my truck. So I had to order it and then schedule a pickup and go get it or schedule a delivery. So I don't believe it's one of them everyday things you can just have cut to size.
Yeah. I'll definitely look into it and see because I'm curious now.
You two should go halvesies on it.
Well, the thing is I don't know if I would ever or what I would use it on. Now, I am doing a project that would be perfect for, it's kind of funny you bring it up. They showed me a challenge coin, Air Force challenge coin for the K9 unit. And they want it basically blown up and done almost like a plaque and then put a 4x6 picture in the back. Because it's like a dog and the mouth is open. And they want the 4x6 in the mouth. And that would have been a perfect carve to utilize that. But I mean, other than those 1s and 2s that pop up, I don't know. If I get more and more of those, obviously I might, start going down that road. But yeah, we'll have to see. It's definitely piqued my interest. I definitely want to try it out. I just have to find a good dealer around me, and then maybe we can go halfsies. So as you guys know, we did a live YouTube event tonight, and it was a great time. A bunch of people that listen to the podcast showed up. They got entered into a giveaway, and obviously we had 2 winners. We were going to try to do a giveaway at every single YouTube live we have with different winnings each time. So you're going to have to, keep listening and stay tuned. That way we can tell you what those giveaways are going to consist of. That being said, our 50th episode is coming up, and we're going to have one huge giveaway during that time. We have a list of people that are going to be sponsoring us during that time, and some of that list includes woodpeckers, Black Diamond Pigments, Totalboat, Rockler, and Microjig.
And I'm going to have some things to give away as well. So I don't mean to cut you off there, Josh, but I've got a few things to give away as well. We're going to start posting stuff up on our Instagrams, pictures of the prizes and all that. So yeah, it's going to be worth the time, just to show up and have a good time and help us celebrate.
Yeah. And, there's going to be multiple winnings. We're not going to do it where one person gets everything. We're going to kind of split it up. We haven't decided exactly what kind of packages we're going to put together, but we're definitely going to have it so, more than one person walks away a winner. And with that, we also are going to have a special guest at the end of this month. It looks like it's going to be the 27th of April, and we're going to have Woodenwhiskerstrading Co. on here, and we're going to be talking...
Whatever.
Wooden whiskers.
Okay, there was nothing from you guys. We're going to be talking about, how he got into woodworking and kind of doing a small interview with him and just kind of share with the world, what's behind his hobby, woodworking business, and get to know him a little bit better.
22nd of April. If you are in the San Antonio area, come on out to the Woodcraft at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. They're doing a Alamo City Makers Meetup. There's going to be food, beverages, and giveaways. So it's free for all, and it's going to be a great time. So try and break free and come on out. We'd love to see you, or at least I would love to see you out there. I know these two guys couldn't get the plane tickets in time.
Be there in heart.
That's right. And that's it for events. Until next month.
So let's go slide into sponsors.
All right. So today's podcast has been sponsored by Totalboat. For that outstanding epoxy performance that you're seeking out, head on over to Totalboat.com. They have anywhere from their Halcyon to their Deep Pour. It's worth a trip. Give them a shout out on Instagram or visit www.totalboat.com. Get on that boat, Totalboat. All right, that's enough of that. Anyway, next up we have Jtechphotonics for that amazing laser experience that you want for your CNC. All right. For that amazing laser experience for your CNC machine, go to www.jtechphotonics.com or give them a phone call. They get you squared away. Tell them Nick sent you. And last but not least, Orca Abrasives, give them a huge shout out and a thank you for sponsoring tonight's giveaway.
And you got to insert whale noise.
All right.
I hope that gets cut.
Orca Abrasives for 10% off your order of Orca Abrasives. Go ahead and use promo code SawdustNation10. And that's all I have.
These are some hard turnovers, man.
Yeah, I know, right?
And AJ
failed in my transition class.
If you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star review. Remember last week? If you don't, Walnut the Cat will. 5-star reviews. And leave a comment, too. We like seeing it. We like knowing what you guys think of the podcast. And then also, the higher the reviews, the higher the star ratings, the higher the Sawdust Nation goes up, and more people get to enjoy it. Also, if you want to reach us over at Instagram, you could reach myself at CraftedInNJ, Nick over at NPG Creations, and you can reach Josh over at, I almost said Sawdust Nation, North Country Woodworking.
Well, you can. I mean, it's true.
Yeah, that's one
so,
way.
Josh over at North Country Woodworking, and you can reach all three of us at Sawdust Nation Podcast on Instagram. If you want to hear your lovely voice, send us a voice memo to sawdustnationpodcast@gmail.com with your question. We really enjoy getting questions from our listeners, and it could be woodworking related. It can also be a debate. Cereal is not a soup. Thank you. No,
it is.
We're ending it right now. Cereal is not a soup. Anyway, it's not.
It is.
Josh is not going to be on the next podcast. Thanks for joining us. But anyway, that's all I got. So send us your questions, email them, DM. Don't send them USPS because you know we won't get them. And if you're in the shop, turn the Sawdust Nation on, get to making some sawdust. And Nick?
Take care of yourselves and each other until next time. Bye-byes. Go make sawdust.
You took my bye-byes on that one. Bye-byes. Go make some sawdust. And from the Sawdust Nation to your wonderful ears, Sawdust Nation, out.
What was that?
That was the 41st
that was like the worst
episode.
jersey out.
Thank you. 41th.
Thank you for joining us this week. Hopefully you can go in the shop, make some sawdust. And if you can't, you can listen to Sawdust Nation to fill that gap. Sawdust Nation.
Cereal is not a soup.
It is.
So on another note, I'm still looking at this YouTube video that we made, and there's still that glaring thumbs down. I'm gonna find that guy.
Well,
I
the
told
cat
you.
will.
I'm gonna find that guy. Which one of you gave us a thumbs down on YouTube? Come on now. There's only 36 followers.
37, man.
Whatever. I know every one of you. I'll find you.